You seem like you've matured a lot. Well, from moving from LA to Miami, it's a whole new guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, well, mainly because, like, behind the scenes, I got to, like, take time for myself in these boxing camps.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, before, everything was just for the outside world. And so when I found boxing, it gave me that, like, routine, that discipline, being sober, and, like, realizing who I was and who I wanted to be. And challenging myself in a different area and kind of going back to my roots as well of, like, being an athlete. I kind of lost myself in the whole entertainment world. It's you can get, like, sucked up into it and just are surrounded by the wrong people. And so boxing gave me the ability to, like, reflect on myself and to build a future. And that helped me mature. And I found through boxing, I found breath work, because for these fights and every day for training, I had to, like, meditate and be really focused and not get nervous leading into the fight weeks. So I was doing a ton of meditation. And so I found spirituality and breath work, and that led me down this, like, whole other path and whole other journey of my life. And those things, like, I recommend meditation and breath work to anybody, but that really helped me, and it helped me overcome, like, a lot of personal shit and, like, trauma. And I've seen you recently, like, talk about some of the perils of this lifestyle and becoming numb to a lot of shit and just being this, like, constant workflow, and life just flies by you. So
Yeah, what do you think's the biggest thing you learned about yourself you didn't know since you moved out here and started boxing? Like, anything you discovered where you were like, fuck, I was hiding this or fighting this the whole time?
yeah, I think a lot of people in our industry have so many, like, voids that they're filling in terms of, like, loving themselves. And it's like this weird concept, because you, like, instinctually are, like, wanting to become famous for validation for others. So you get addicted to that validation from others once you get, like, a taste of it, and then you kind of just, like, want to continue growing that. But really what I've seen in this industry is people are, like, so fucking insecure and they don't love themselves. And that's something that I realized that I had to face. And, like, we don't learn emotional intelligence in school. It's not really, like, talked about in our culture. Like, sometimes now people are going deeper into it on TikTok. But it wasn't until I, like, started learning about my emotions. Why do I feel a certain way? Why am I acting like this? Why am I saying these things to certain people? My meditation, my breath work kind of unveiled this layer of these insecurities that I had, and I realized, like, I was working so hard to receive this outside validation to make myself feel better, but it's because I actually wasn't whole on the inside. And when you start to realize, like, a lot of people in this world have that same problem, and it's this whole world of people who, like, doesn't love themselves and are insecure, that are, like, chasing this external validation.
You think that's because, like, what you were doing, like, in entertainment and stuff like that? Because you're kind of, like, you're still in the spotlight and stuff too, right?
What do you mean, like?
I
Like,
think they're different, though, because you
Yeah.
go from a YouTuber to an athlete.
Yeah.
So it's a different lifestyle, and your perception, people will have a different perception
Oh,
on
I'm
you.
just trying to understand.
Yeah, I get. Well, like, when you're starting out is, like, what I'm saying, and, like, building your career. I don't think a lot of people understand, like, why they're instinctively doing this. Like, why do so many people want clout? Why do they want followers? It's that external validation of people praising you. And so it's this thing inside of you, like, I'm not good enough. I need followers. I need likes. I need to be socially, like, relevant. And so it's kind of this, like, subconscious thing that's driving a lot of our generation and our, like, social hierarchies and influencers. Like, if you start to unveil the layers of, like, think about some influencers that you know, like, think about how, like, fucked up they are in the head, or, like, when you know them as a person, you're like, oh shit, like, they're dealing with this. They're not actually happy. They have all of these things, and it's kind of like this broken world because they're working so hard to get this external validation, which is why, like, a lot of them become so big.